Hey everyone, this is Mike, and I just wanted to say hi and talk a little bit about creativity today. I see a lot of people talking about that, and so I just like to join into the the uh, the trend of that. And there's a lot of things that you can do to be creative, and a lot about being creative is gathering information. You want to when you gather lots of information, you can be creative by you start to see different problems and different things that you can solve by analyzing uh, you know different industries or different things. As you analyze a lot and gather information, then you can know what to do next with it. A lot of people have a hard time being creative because they have to get into the mood of it. And it's more than a mood. It's like you're you're constantly gathering information to know exactly what to do with something. And so, an idea, if you're just looking for an idea, a lot of times you need to gather a little bit of information or see different problems needed or different things that you can do or needs that you can meet. So a lot of times it takes a little bit of thought process to work through. And once you work through that thought process, you can start to understand. I'm at uh, Waterburger, and and so you want to think out your thought process a little bit. So brainstorming is more like brain thinking, and so you want to think through the process and start to see issues that you can solve, and and then try to go about some way of inventing something to solve that. And so it could be something as like something simple, um, and so usually when a person works out their creative nature, they start working it out. It builds. It's like a muscle that you build on, and a lot of times you have to when you hold on to the ideas, sometimes it creates more ideas and stuff. And so just journal out your ideas and make your ideas um, come to fruition through a little hard work. Once you've gathered a lot of ideas, then you may have something that other people will be inspired to look at and and enjoy. And so you want to look at all these things when you're going about creating something. And so there's a lot of people that try really hard to create something, but when they try too hard, usually they can mess up because they're not allowing their creative juices to flow. And the whole thing about creative juices is I don't know where that came from, but it's more like receiving from the Lord. Sometimes you get an inpouring of the Spirit and gives you a revelation. So, building up your communication, your spiritual communication, brings more revelation. And so, just doing a few of these things can help you to help people and to go to the next level with your ideas. And so, you don't have to do anything really hard. You just have to work it as a muscle, and eventually you start to having lots and lots of ideas. And so um, one good thing you can do is text messaging people because it allows you to think out your ideas, and so it allows you to hold in something, work uh, a better way of saying it than say it. And so a lot of times when people follow these two things, they can start to understand what to do with an idea. So be creative as you talk, and enjoy things and everything, and it starts coming to you. So look for things that you're an expert in and develop ideas through that. Through expertise, you don't have to have gone to a school for 4 years to be an expert in something. It could be a hobby that you've been playing with for years. It could be a habit that you formed as a kid that you do. And it's funny because I'm people say I'm naturally creative when, yeah, I am. But the thing is, as I looked into that, you know, people, I looked into that. I was doing some very pragmatic things that I didn't realize that were creative. So it was a natural process for me, and some people just didn't follow the process or get into the process. And so after a while, you can start to build these things and look at them. Uh, and so one thing about being creative, like I'm good at procrastination. We all are. I am really bad at it. I'm just reading the notes. Thank you, Barbara. Yeah. So, you know, these these ideas that are, everywhere. You know, they it's a creative muscle. You have to think about it as a muscle. And so, as I said, just constantly gather information, let it store in your brain, and then start to work out the problems. Sometimes you'll just have a on record in your brain or on a piece of paper or in a journal or somewhere, an inventive journal, and write out your ideas. And you may have just one little bit, one sentence, one word for that idea for a little bit, but then you start doing research, and you may get inspired and see exactly what it is. Now, when I said being creative like Jesus, um, that's when you receive words from Him, and He helps you flow in revelation. So you get revelation from Him, and you start flowing in that. And so God will bless you. You have to ask for blessings from heaven. And when you start to ask for blessings from heaven and you start asking for different things from God, you start to impart from people. That's where you receive a gift spiritually from them of some nature. And then you can start to get anointed in that and get more and more of what that is. And so sometimes having a creative mentor is a good thing. I I I don't mind being a mentor to anybody that wants to learn creativity wise. Um, and so one thing is I'm always looking towards the most creative genius, which is Jesus. And so being like him, following him, seeing what he does, doing as he does, that is what I try to do. And so you have to understand that these creative things, yeah, you can have secular creative ideas. I have them. I have secular creative ideas. I have Christian creative ideas. But the thing is, you um, have you know be a witness to to uh, to what can really become the things that God has for you. Um, so when you start writing down and journaling these things, you can start to develop your creative nature. And so develop that creative nature that's in you. Let it grow. Let it let it work in you, and you'll start to have more and more understanding. And so It's all about this. This is what people did in the 40s and 50s. Is that they constantly gather information until they had the idea or the problem or the need, and then they started meeting those things. And so you want to do that in order to make it work, and so be ethical with your ideas. Don't be bad with your ideas. You want to do what's right, um, and be spiritually prepared for what an idea can make. So you don't have to do every idea that you have. Um, it's more a gathering thing. Sometimes it's a tool. Sometimes it's a lifestyle. So don't think that every idea that you have to make up and make a lifestyle. Just write it down, and maybe do something with it. You don't have to do everything or solve every problem or feel like you have to do everything. And so um, I love the ideas that God gives me. Doesn't mean that I'm going to use them all. People come up with ideas all the time and they just let them go. When it's more like a seed to a better future for you. Because God wants problems solved in the world. He wants needs met in the world. He wants people edified. He doesn't want people feeling bad. He wants them to be edified. And so God is trying to solve these issues with us. He's opening up treasures from heaven and sending them to us. That's what he wants from you. He wants to unlock a destiny for you and really show you the way. And so just really understand that God is trying to unlock a destiny for you. He wants you to have a better life. And so it doesn't mean you have to have all the money in the world or it's necessarily for you. Sometimes ideas aren't for you. It's for someone that really needs it. And so you have to look at what is for you and what's for others. So they're like messages from God, and you have to steward these messages. So write it down, write it in a journal, try to look at these things, and you can be creative like Jesus and give words to people and give hope to people. Sometimes having a creative idea can give someone hope. But we want to rest it in the Lord and rest it in Him. It's just that could be the thing that leads a person to God, is because God gave them that idea and they have that idea. There's little things like that. So we shouldn't be selfish, but I know that as I've gathered some ideas, they're more for my family in the future. And so I asked the Lord what they're for. And so some are for me, some are for them. And so I more weight upon the Lord. So when I exercise this muscle, it helps people to help them create a destiny. And so I'd rather know the person and make sure that they're following the Lord, and giving what they need. So work those creative muscles, because it's a muscle. Okay, so let's go back and review. Okay, so you want to be a gatherer that gathers information, looking for needs, problem solving things, problems that you can solve, and helpful ideas which you can further something. And so if you're solving people's problems for them, I feels like a video game when you're going around solving people's problems. Doesn't mean you're a busybody or anything. It means that you're solving the world's problems, making things better. And so we want to make things better, and it all starts with knowing Him. because he solves the biggest problem. If you're afraid of death, if you're afraid of of what the future holds, I suggest that you come to know the Lord. He gives so much grace to you and wants to show you a good life. And so God wants to give you new things. He wants to make things better for you. So just pursue God, and He'll solve your issues, and He'll show you the way. So don't worry. God's got it. Hold on to Him. Let Him solve the things that you need, and He will bring to you a greater future. Okay? So I'm going to end it in prayer. And so if you want to join in a prayer, you can. Dear Jesus, forgive me of my sins. Come into my heart. You are my Lord and Savior. If you pray that prayer, if you meant it in your heart, God will transform you and lead you to a better life. And so just look to Him and let Him solve your issues and let Him help you with your issues. He's like the best person in the world to know, because He solves your every need and helps you. That's where He's leading you, just towards heaven. Heaven's needs. It's a perfect place. It solves all of the problems that you have in the world. And so do pursue Jesus, and He'll give you much more than you ever thought possible. So be creative. Love Jesus. Look at my website, mikewilkinson.org or freeencouragement.org. And you can look at our website and the articles that we have and videos. And if you ever have a seminar in your area and you need a speaker, I would love to speak. So just invite me on the for my website information, and I would be happy to come and speak. All right. Well, God bless you. You have a good one. Bye.